St. Patty's Day.
I know. I went to the gym this morning. There was a lot of green out there.
You're not wearing any right now.
My underwear.
No, that's a lie.
Should I pinch you?
I'm rocking it, dude.
The only thing is, by the time this releases, it will not
Still, we can celebrate it.
be. Are you feeling lucky?
I look like an Easter egg. I'm ready.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Thought you were. What was that called? Dab? Dab?
No, I didn't dab. I definitely did not dab. This is not.
Is that what it's called?
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Dab. Yep.
All righty. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of King of the Court. We are your hosts, Tyler and
Jimmy Miller.
the one and only. Where's Jimmy?
One and only. We are ready
You
for
know,
a new
there's
week.
a lot of KOTC fans out there in Dallas. I had quite a number of people come up to me and ask the famous line, "Where's Jimmy?" And it gets me every time. I don't know what to say. I say he's back home. He's in his basement. He's not here.
You know what's crazy is I actually got a bunch of messages from people, and they were like, most of them were actually trying to buy tickets, and they all want to use code KOTC. Mm-hmm. And
For the PPA one? Or?
For the PPA. And we had some issues with our code.
Okay.
At that event, and I literally had like 3 people, and they said the same exact thing, and I was like, how are you guys all saying the same thing? And they're like, call Big Pickle and tell them to fix your code. So, yeah. But I'm glad people are using it.
Yeah, one of the guys was like, well, what tournament will Jimmy be at next? I'm like, I have no idea.
Red Rock.
Red Rock?
I will be at Red Rock.
You've said that before, and
I know.
it has not come
last
to fruition.
remember last year it rained, and I was like, eh. But I'll be there. I got an Airbnb.
Okay.
Where are you staying? Airbnb?
My wife is going down with the kids, and so she was in charge of hotel.
Desert Color?
I don't think so. It's an Airbnb.
Massive on the lagoon.
Yeah.
You get that 12,000 square foot house.
Dude, they just had their parade of homes.
Yeah.
$12 million home there in St. George.
Yeah.
They have a tennis court in the middle.
In the middle of the house?
Middle of the yard.
Well, I told you I went down there a couple weeks ago, and some friends of friends had a house, and it was at Desert Color, and it was literally like a 12,000 square foot house. It's like the biggest one. It had a private pool, access to the beach and the lagoon.
Yeah.
There was like 9 bedrooms, 8 beds. It was massive. And like, they're like, oh yeah, we rent it out for, we Airbnb it. And I was like, oh, sweet. And they're like, yeah, so if you're ever coming down, and I went and looked,
It's like $5,000
$5,000 a night on the off season.
Really?
Up to $20,000 a night during peak season.
Yeah, that's when you
bust. So I was like, yo, Richie, should we do a Black Bears retreat?
Get a bridge loan for that?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to our title sponsor, The Pickler. We love The Pickler. They are the #1 indoor pickleball facility in the entire world.
They have a Pickler in St. George.
They do. They're up to over 35 opened locations, which is incredible. If you're interested in starting your own pickler or being a part of the pickler business, reach out to them and tell them that the guys at KOTC sent you. Also, Jimmy, give us a little bit more information about them.
Yeah, so the Pickler has they're calling it the Pickler Players Day. So did you know, Tyler, that the Pickler is having its 4-year anniversary?
Woo!
In just a couple weeks.
Party.
4 years.
Wow,
so
impressive.
All Pickler members can come, plus you get a free guest. And the guest does not count towards your monthly guest passes.
Wow.
So bring a friend.
Wait, what is it? It's just like a play?
It's all day open play.
When is it?
April 5th.
Cool.
All the Pickler clubs. So the guest doesn't count. There's door prizes. There's treats. It's basically just all the Picklers are going to be open for open play all day long.
Should we show up at a random Pickler
100%
location?
We will be there, yeah. I think we need to go to April 5th. Are you here? What day is that?
I don't know. That's too far out for me, too.
That's true. But if you're here, I mean, there's quite a few Picklers. We should just hop around and just jump on the courts and play.
Okay.
So April 5th, check it out. This is your chance, right? If you haven't been to a Pickler yet, find a friend who's a member, piggyback off of them, and go check it out.
All right, awesome. Our next sponsor is Pickleball Central. We have had some issues with their code. There should be a link in the description down below in this video that you can click on, and it will take you to the website, and it will automatically apply the discount code to your order.
Yeah, technology's hard for some people.
Is There are no codes anymore for KOTC. You have to click the link in this video for the code to apply.
Yes, it's an affiliate link. We will also post it on our a link in our Instagram page.
Yep.
Or message one of us and we'll get you the link. But use the affiliate link.
You're still getting the best
it's
discount.
Same discount. Nothing's changed. They just, who knows why people do weird things, but they want us to go through this affiliate link now to better track things. Who knows, Tyler?
Okay. March Madness.
Clearly, I don't love it.
NCAA.
NCAA. March Madness.
Are you going to
Selection Sunday? We're BYU guys. We live in Utah. We're BYU guys here. And so...
You know who's a big BYU guy?
Who?
Connor Ogden. He works at the PPA.
Yeah.
He's a really big
BYU guy.
Yeah.
Him and Pardo.
Yeah.
Him and Pardo love BYU.
They might be at their first game, actually, is what I heard.
Did you know that Utah has not made the NCAA tournament since 2016?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Those guys were probably in high school then.
Huh.
Been a minute for them.
Yeah.
But
they did beat BYU the first time they played them this year.
They did by 1 in overtime.
Yeah.
March Madness. Should we do a KOTC bracket?
It's too late.
It's too late?
Yeah.
By the time this comes out?
Yeah, well, it will have already started.
No, it comes out Wednesday, right?
I thought it starts tomorrow.
No, the first 4, but nobody picks the first 4.
You have to pick for it to count.
Thursday. Thursday is when the real bracket starts.
Maybe.
So I'm going to do one. All right, listen. I think that I'm going to give my final 4 projections because if you know me, you know that I'm very, very good at picking projections, right?
Hey, Tesla is awarding a bunch of awards if you have the best bracket, and some of them being like a free roadster, a trip to space, or also $250,000 cash.
If you get a perfect bracket, do you get to go to space?
If you want to. That's what I just said.
Well, you didn't say what it was for, like what you had to get.
Continue.
Would you go to space?
I would take the cash.
Yeah, so you probably watched that. Was it the Challenger one that exploded on live TV? Do you ever remember that?
I don't.
There's a teacher on there. This lady was a teacher and her whole class was watching. It was like in the 80s. I wasn't even born yet, but class was watching. It literally exploded on live TV and everyone watched them all day.
Morbid.
So if you want
What are the chances of getting a perfect bracket?
Oh, it's like 1 in a billion. Like they haven't had a perfect bracket. No one's had a perfect bracket in like years.
Yeah, it's been like 15 to 20, right?
Yeah. It's last year after the very first weekend, there was like 36 perfect brackets. It's crazy.
Oh, real quick. Who broke the 4-minute mile?
Hey, it was Roger Bannister. Boom. Get off.
Steve, who was it? Fontaine?
Pre-Fontaine. I was wrong. Okay.
Whatever.
I also, I actually was corrected on that. Tim Parks messaged me and said, dude, you're a dipshit. All right. So.
Okay. Who are your final 4?
All right. My final 4, I'm going to go with St. John's out of the West. Okay. Rick Pitino. Hard to bet against Rick Pitino. Out of the Midwest, I'm going to go with the Houston Cougars.
Okay. Can't go wrong there.
Houston Cougars been playing very well. Out of the East, I'm going to bet on Cooper Flagg's ankle being okay. I think it's going to be okay. If Cooper Flagg, who looks just like Roscoe Bellamy, by the way.
Is he going NBA next year?
Yeah, 100%. Number 1 pick. Going to go to
He said he doesn't want to.
He says that, but everybody wants to when they get paid. He's going to go to the Jazz. He's saying he doesn't want to because he doesn't want to go to like the Bobcats. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to say Duke. And then out of the South, I think the South is going to be interesting. I think Tom Izzo's his teams are always good. Michigan State's always good, but I'm going to pick a little bit of an upset out of the South. And I'm going to say that Texas A&M comes out of the South.
Okay. I haven't been following that much NCAA, but I will say, as always, with March Madness, I'm predicting a lot of upsets this tournament.
Thank you, Tyler.
A lot of upsets.
A very bold prediction.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not as many as you
Did you know that the 11 seed has a winning record against the 6 seed?
That I did not know.
Yeah. So, but I'm also predicting a BYU Elite 8 run. Let's go. They're gonna squeak by VCU. It's gonna be a tough game, and then they're gonna wax Wisconsin. Absolutely wax them.
Then who do they play in the?
And then they're
16?
gonna play either Alabama.
It would be Alabama.
Maybe St. Mary's, maybe Vandy, but probably Alabama.
Okay.
And Alabama's not playing great. BYU's going to win that. And then BYU's going to run into Duke. And unfortunately, their run will end. But we're going to all be happy and we're all going to celebrate.
All right. Back to pickleball.
What's that?
It's a weird game. It's a derivative of tennis.
Do you think any of these guys are good at pickleball?
No.
Like I've watched so much, like seen all this video, and you've played with him of Terrell Owens. Mm-hmm. Dude's a freak athlete. He's actually a great basketball player.
He loves pickleball.
Yeah, but he sucks.
Not the best.
He does not look athletic when he plays.
Not the best. Well, how old is he?
He's 40-something, but so you can still look smooth on the court.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald does not look smooth when he plays. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Larry Fitzgerald's not bad.
He's okay, but he's not like he's...
He at least knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but he doesn't look smooth. That's what I'm saying. Chris Humphreys looks fairly smooth. Probably smoother than his marriage with Kim K.
Okay.
But he looks fairly smooth. I think he tries to play like pro qualies. Mm-hmm. Nick Foles, who is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, is ass. He's terrible. I think he's like a 3-0. Okay. Golden Tate's pretty good.
Drew Brees is good.
Drew Brees is decent.
Yeah.
Golden Tate's a good athlete, and he looks like an athlete on the court. But I'm just surprised how it doesn't translate. You know how we always talk about athletes in pickleball? And everyone's like, oh, who's the best athlete? Obviously, I think you're a great athlete that is also good at pickleball, even if Matt Wright says you have the ugliest shot in pickleball.
Okay.
That hurt your feelings?
No, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Is this going to be a Jilly B segment?
Yeah, this will be a...
Is Tyler coming in hot today?
No, I'll have a few things to say, but my delivery is never as good as yours, so it probably won't get as many clicks.
But is there like I'm just saying that like athletically, it's crazy how there's these guys who can be pros in sports that require insane athleticism.
Yeah.
And then they come over to pickleball and they look just like uncoordinated. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what's wild to me. And then there's other people that play pickleball, amateurs, and they feel like the barrier of entry to pro, and this is my pet peeve, and I've told you this, they feel like the barrier of entry to professional pickleball is super simple and super easy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, it just looks like, you know, it's easy. It's an easy sport. Or all these people that are trying to become pros. And like, when's the last time we've had a pro? Essentially, I mean, very rarely you get 1 out of 100 maybe that are playing qualies and work their way up and then become like legit contenders.
Yeah.
It's, you know, that's hard to do.
Agreed.
So
I don't disagree at all.
I don't think pro pickleball players get the respect that they deserve with the how good and how high level they actually are.
Yeah.
I truly don't think they do. And if you play with legitimate pros who are playing hard, I promise you that you're not contending with them. You can pretend that.
Unfortunately, we don't have a massive tennis fan base here, but if we did, the comment section would be fighting with one another right here.
Yeah. Remember that dude? His name was Ross, like Krejci or Crotchy or Crotchety.
For tennis or pickleball?
In one of the pickleball forums. And a couple years ago, he made this post and he said...
Is this the one that said...
Wait till the D1.
Yeah.
He said, all my D1 tennis buddies are starting to play pickleball. Ben Johns' runs. Once they all start playing, Ben Johns runs over.
Yeah.
And he would always post about that. And he was so adamant about it. And then it's like, okay, well, we had the D1 players come. And
we had the pros come.
And then we actually skipped the D1 players and we had the top level pros come.
Yeah.
And those top level pros are not dominating.
Yep.
In fact, dominating... Some of the top level pro tennis players aren't even as good as the D1 tennis players.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
it's interesting what sticks and what doesn't with these converts, like who does well at the pro level and who doesn't. Because there's some players that I know for a fact were better than me in tennis, and they are not good in pickleball. And
well, dude, look at Jack Sock, look at Genie Bouchard, look at Donald Young, right? Mm-hmm. They are high level pro tennis players. The highest of level pro tennis players we have in the sport, Sam Querrey, right? I mean, these are top 10 pro tennis players. Mm-hmm. And what success have we seen them have in pickleball?
Everybody will give the argument, well, this is at the end of their career, though. And so there's always going to be arguments, but sure. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and I guess you can buy that argument to an extent, but I still, you know, people still talk about like these players.
I fully agree, but that's what people will say.
Yeah.
All right. Getting into Texas. So they moved the location. Well, actually, before we get into that, I have a funny story about Genie.
Oh.
Genie Bouchard, hot girl summer.
Genie B, hot girl summer. Uh-oh.
So I was talking to her.
Okay. Should I be nervous about this?
I mean, it's not that funny, but I thought it was funny. Okay. So I brought you up. Yeah. I was all like, so are you ever going to come on the pod? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, my buddy Jimmy Miller wants you to come on. And she dead serious, looks at me, says, "Who is Jimmy Miller?" She had no idea who you were.
100% she doesn't. Why would she?
Because of the tweet thing.
Yeah, I'm sure she didn't even read who sent that tweet.
Exactly, but it was so funny because it picked up a little bit of steam. I mean, pickleball.com was reposting it and everything like that. And you would have thought she would have looked at your name.
They just read it. Right?
Or read it or something like that, and she had zero idea who you were. It kind of reminded me of when you golfed with Sam Querrey, and he has zero idea who you were.
Yeah, Sam Querrey was like, who are you again? What? And I actually respect that. And I kind of respect that out of Genie too, oddly enough. Because I really am a nobody.
And so I told her who you were. I was like, oh, it's my friend. He's the GM. And she's like, where does he get this information? I'm like, he likes to stir up stuff.
So she responded to me.
Uh-huh.
And then she responded to pickleball.com. And then she posted it about herself. And she had no idea who the tweet came from.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
That's kind of funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah. I don't know. It was just really funny in person. I'm not great at telling stories, but it was comical because most people in the pickleball.
Does she know who I am now?
I'm sure she forgot.
So I was messaging with Ryan Sherry.
She said, dead serious. Who is he? Who is Jimmy?
I mean, that's fair. Genie, honestly, it's fair. I don't even know who I am.
Should I have said Paul Blart?
I think it hurts because I feel like Genie's my third best friend and she doesn't know it yet. I don't know if anybody's a bigger Genie Bouchard fan than me. And like I root for her to win every single time.
Yeah.
And I watch her matches because I like really want her to be good. Mm-hmm. Because I think that it's kind of a cool story how she literally couldn't even keep score the first match.
So it was interesting. I was talking to her and she had just lost a match. Mm-hmm. And she said something that was kind of interesting to me. She said, I don't mind losing to pickleball players, but I hate losing to tennis converts. Like people that play tennis. Yeah. Like at the high level. Yeah. She said she hates losing to those types of players. Yeah, but to losing to pickleball players, she was fine with.
Well, it makes sense because she probably feels like she should be the best tennis convert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I thought that was actually kind of cool.
That's kind of funny because so she so Sherry and I were messaging each other and we were talking about Red Rock. Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, the first thing that he mentions is that it's only 2 hours to Vegas. Mm-hmm. And then I said, hey, can we get you and Genie to come on the podcast? Mm-hmm. Did she say she would come on? Not really.
I can't remember if I've asked her in the past and she has agreed to it, but I can't remember if I
just said, can we get you and Genie to come on the podcast? And he was like, dude, 100%. Let's do it in Red Rock.
Yeah.
I'll call her today. Let's do a joint pod with me, you, Genie, and Tyler down at Red Rock. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Mm-hmm. So it'll be funny when he's like, hey, you want to go on King of the Court? And she's like, oh, I
have no idea who that is.
I don't even know what that is. Call my manager. Or maybe Sherry has pool that we don't. So, yeah, it should be good.
All right, before we get into the pickleball, we got to give a big shout out to C&D Pickleball Nets. We love them. They are the heaviest duty, most premium quality pickleball nets out there. We talk about them every single episode. They've been with us since the beginning.
Love them.
Go check them out. Support them. They have this new, more economical net. However, it is still high quality. Yep. We love them. We are actually going up to tour their facilities tomorrow.
Yeah, check out the new net. They're in stock.
Yeah. So if you've been on the fence with C&D nets, but their price was maybe a little bit too high, use code KOTC and it will still get you a great discount. And they have a new net, like we just said, that is quite a bit cheaper, yet still very high quality.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more economical. They've been able to keep the same high quality that they're known for, and just kind of find that price point that might work a little bit better for people. Somebody told us the other day that their church doesn't even have courts yet. Mm-hmm. And they ordered 8 C&D nets or something like that. Maybe it was 12.
I think it was 12.
12, and they don't even have courts in yet.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Look, we've talked about this before. We are very particular about the sponsorships that we choose.
Not that particular. If you send us a big check, we'll take it.
Well, listen, I can be bought. But I'm just saying that I don't want to put my name on something that sucks. Mm-hmm. Right? And
what if it's a vacuum?
Well, then that's fair, right? Dyson?
Dyson's great.
With the ball?
Yeah.
But C&D, I mean, they're the best of the best. And there's no way to nobody can argue with that. Even other net manufacturers are trying to be like them. Yeah. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, which is why all of our content continues to get stolen by other people. That's why another podcast used Hot Girl Summer as their headline. I heard they gave me a little bit of credit, though.
Am I the Thomas of this podcast?
I don't watch. I need to be really honest. I don't watch PicklePod.
Uh-huh.
I like once in a while, on occasion, or I'll watch certain clips.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I will say this: Thomas gets absolutely dragged in the forums by how little he contributes to PicklePod.
I like Thomas.
I like Thomas too. Thomas is a good buddy of mine. Zane gets glazed like he is God's gift to pickleball. Thomas just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you're Thomas because I don't see that reaction to you. But
maybe I opened up a can of worms.
Well, I've just never, like, truthfully, being completely honest, Thomas, he's that guy that Thomas is almost like Ben Johns in a way where, like, if Ben Johns yells, then people are like, oh my God, what's he doing? If Ben Johns doesn't care, then they get mad at him. If Ben Johns, wears yellow, they're like, why is he wearing yellow? I feel like that's almost like Thomas, like the guy can do no right.
Yeah.
And so he just, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, 22 minutes in, we're getting to talk about pickleball.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
So, it's this weird
My
game.
feelings are hurt that Genie didn't know me.
It was.
They're absolutely not.
I had to laugh out loud.
They're not. I would not expect her to know who I was.
Okay, PPA Texas Open. They
Texas.
moved it from Oasis Rockwall, which was an incredible, great move by PPA.
Remember last year? Didn't they use Dreamland last year? They moved it. They had a couple matches indoors at Dreamland.
No, that was Austin. This is Dallas.
Oh, I mean, sorry.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, but
it was in Rockwall. Huh?
Rockwall, yeah. So it's far away, but this one was also far away. But in my opinion, it was a much better location.
It was in McKinney.
McKinney, yep.
Home of. Doesn't Dave Fleming live in McKinney?
You told me that, so I'm guessing he does.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, I saw a lease out on his court. Like he looks like he lives on a farm.
Yeah. Yeah. So
weather was
awful.
hellacious.
Yeah.
We've talked about this on the pod before, but the great equalizer in pickleball, the great equalizer.
I don't even know if I would call it an equalizer. I'd say it's a big advantage to one of the teams.
Yes, but I think that it's wind.
Yeah.
But I think that it keeps the underdog in the match because some people can play in the wind and some can't. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just is what it is. And I actually remember one of the very first podcasts we ever did. I asked you about the wind. There was a tournament that was windy. And I said, Tyler, when you play in the wind, it doesn't even look like it's windy out. Mm-hmm. And then like when you watch amateurs play in the wind, it's just an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
And some of these pros, it's the same thing. Like what like some of the advantages is like, maybe you have a heavy drive and that, right? But I was watching the Ben and Gabe against DSQ and Dylan match. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Ben couldn't even hit a return.
Zane Navratil got aced.
Yeah.
By Salome.
Yeah.
By Salome, my partner.
12-10.
In mixed doubles, yeah. Yeah. Which was funny because I was like, maybe she should do the Zane saucer and see how that goes.
Yeah, and so like I said, Ben was missing return after return. Everyone was missing thirds. It just kind of changes the entire game.
Listen, I've been the most staunch advocate for indoor pickleball. I like outdoor pickleball.
You and Rob Nunnery.
But I even think I was before him, to be honest. But pickleball, in my opinion, the conditions have to be near perfect. It is such a unique game in that we're using a wiffle ball. Do you know how light this is? I don't know how light it is, but it's very light.
Yeah.
It can affect the gameplay significantly with the slightest breeze. If this hits the smallest rock, a pebble, a leaf on the court, it will end the point right away.
Yeah.
And in all sports, you want to have the most equal level playing field as possible.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, I say this all the time, but could you imagine somebody shoots the game-winning basketball shot and then at the last second, a gust of wind comes in? It doesn't happen. And with pickleball being even more malleable than tennis.
Ooh, malleable.
Big word.
That means moldable.
Exactly. More than tennis. And even tennis, they have these massive stadiums that kind of shield it from a lot of the elements. I don't know. I just think...
Plus the tennis ball is a little heavier.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it needs to be played indoors. If you're looking for upsets, then yeah, play outside, play in the wind, play in harsh conditions, throw rocks on the court. How funny would that be?
Yeah, I mean,
like it makes
if the fans were
entertaining.
throwing rocks,
Yeah,
it would be kind of funny. You could stone your.
So that's my little monologue. But I think pro pickleball needs to be played in good conditions, and it doesn't have to be played indoors. But if it's blowing more than 10 miles an hour.
Well, I thought the limit was 18, and
so historically there was something, but ever since they came out with the new handbook, there's no mention of wind.
Yeah, and I mean it was 20, 30, 40 mile per hour gusts.
Yes, yeah. I would say 15 to 20 sustained.
Yeah.
And then up to 30, 35 gust.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
It almost feels unsafe.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it because I think we had some massive upsets as we would expect. Let's go women's doubles.
All right.
Women's doubles. We had, the big story is Annalie and Catherine, for the first time ever
in history,
do not get to the semifinals.
By our own Utah
girls, Callie Jo Smith.
Can we call them the girlies?
The original girlies, Callie Jo Smith.
Okay.
And Etta
who?
Tuio Natoa?
Yeah. I feel like you should be better at that. You've got a lot of...
I do have a lot of Polynesian friends, but Etta is a first namer anyways. Don't you think a lot of pickleball players are just first namers?
Well, her first name is Marietta.
I know that, but Etta, I'm just saying you say Etta, you know who she is.
Yeah.
Right? So they end up winning 4-11, 11-8, 11-8. Massive upset.
Love to see it.
Absolutely love to see it. Now, last week, we talked about Callie a little bit and how well she played with Victoria DiMuzio. Mm-hmm. And they took Leia and Lucy to 3 really tight games. And I thought Callie played phenomenal.
Okay.
They ended up losing. I think that it was more because it was Victoria's first time kind of in deep water, playing against high level competition. Mm-hmm. And they ended up losing that. But she gets paired up with Etta, which is funny because we've talked about Etta and kind of her partnerships are interesting. They're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. They have been.
They have been. Nothing super consistent. I mean, last week was Alex Trong and Ivan. Mm-hmm. This week it's Callie.
Yvonne.
And, Yvonne Jakulovic. That's pretty good. Yvonne, how did I do?
I don't think that was
good.
I don't think that was good.
Yvonne watches. Anyways, huge W for them. Congrats. Obviously, we got to support our Utah girls. On the other side, our Utah girls, again, Megan Dazan and Elise Jones, unfortunately did not have the same results, losing to Leia Jansen and Lucy Kovalova. Megan and Elise, original partners on the PPA tour.
Yeah, I think it was almost 2 years ago, though, 2 to 3 years ago. Yeah.
And they played together, and they played together for a long time. Mm-hmm. Ended up, kind of going separate ways. They were kind of stuck in that this was back when the bronze matches where there was a back draw. Mm-hmm. They were kind of stuck in that 3, 4, 5 spot.
Bronze baddies.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to use somebody else's term.
What, quarterfinal?
Jackasses? No,
what term are we going for?
I'm just saying. Anyways, they ended up losing to Leia and Lucy. Mm-hmm. And then we get the girlies who are self-named. Can you give yourself a nickname?
No.
I feel like if you give yourself a nickname, it's not really a nickname.
I feel like you should have a high school story about.
I've told you this story. Have I not told this story?
Yes, you have.
Greer Haymond stands up on the freaking on the bench. Guys, call me Ox. And we all laughed at him and told him to sit down. Yeah, you can't give yourself a nickname. And that's what these guys have done, right? At least as far as I know.
Okay.
So I think that's a little bit weird. Anyways, they have a really close match with Tina Pisnik and Kate Fahey. Mm-hmm. Go 3. And then we get to the semis. And first, let me back up. Quarterfinals. I want Paris Todd and Tyra Hurricane Black. We have talked about Tyra and how Tyra and Paris, Tyra and Georgia are very quickly Tyra, and one of those two is becoming the number 3 team. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, they're always right there. I think Tyra, my personal opinion, I think Tyra's better than Rachel. Rachel has the benefit of playing with Anna Bright. Tyra is clearly a top 5.
Rachel's never coming on the pod.
Oh, that's fine. If Rachel disagrees with me, then she should probably win without her and show instead of losing every time with Deckel in the freaking round.
Did you hear the news about her?
No. What is it? That she lost again?
No, there was something else.
No. Stop. Anyways. So Tyra and Paris played Jade and Lacey. And I don't think they missed. Mm-hmm. I don't think they missed a shot that whole match. Paris was phenomenal. Tyra was phenomenal. They win 11-4, 11-6. They get to the semis and you think, okay, well, this is Anna and Rachel's shot. Annalie and Catherine are out, right? They got a legit chance here to, this is great for them. And they honestly got ran through by Paris and Tyra.
7 and 8 is
7 and 8 is fine, but it wasn't even that close. Like you never felt like Paris and Tyra were going to lose.
Gotcha.
They were the better team. It wasn't as close as the score indicated. And again, it didn't feel like they missed.
Okay.
I mean, both of them were just phenomenal. Their scrambling is very good. Their resets are great. And so we get to the finals. And then Lucy and Leia end up playing Callie and Etta, which is interesting because Callie used to be partners with Lucy. And Leia's partnered with Callie in the past.
Yeah.
And I feel like they hit a lot of balls to Callie. Because
for the bronze match.
This was in the semis.
Oh, in the semis.
Because the knock on Callie's always been if you keep hitting to her freaking backhand, she's going to pop it up eventually. That's been the knock on her. It is what it is. And Callie played tough. She played really well. So we get to the finals.
Do you have your braid to support her?
I do not, but Callie, Paris, and Tyra again just roll. 11-5, 11-5, 11-4. They beat the Anna and Rachel 11-7, 11-8. They beat Jade and Lacey 11-4, 11-6. These guys were just on fire.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Love to see these new teams having success. It's fun.
Tyra Hurricane Black's first gold in women's doubles.
Okay.
And she said it was 2 years. This is 2 years to the day she went pro pickleball.
Yeah.
And she gets her
first
gold.
To the day?
To the day.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to fact check that.
And she gets her first gold in women's doubles. And look, I think her and Paris have 100% slid into that 3 spot.
Are they still playing more tournaments this year?
They are. So she has some with Georgia, some with Paris. So they are still playing more together. So it'll be interesting. But one fun fact is a lot of those YOLO players are not playing Red Rock.
Yes. Yeah.
And we have a new team that we're going to see.
Who is it?
And here's the chance to prove to me that I'm wrong. Rachel Rohrbacher and Paris Todd are playing. Yeah. Even when Tyra plays with Elise, she's had success with Elise.
Yeah, yeah.
They've got couple bronze, couple fourth places. So,
couple forfeits for bronze.
Couple forfeits for bronze, yep. And lots of pictures afterwards. And then the bronze match, Anna and Rachel end up beating Leia and Lucy 11-4, 11-6. So congrats to Paris Todd, Tyra Hurricane Black. Big dub.
Okay, what do you want to go into now?
You call. Your pick, Tyler.
You want to do men's?
Yeah, let's do men's. Let's do the men. I like doing the men.
You love men.
I love everybody.
Okay. All right.
Men's doubles. So, is this the third time they've played together, Ben and Tardio?
I think second.
Second?
Yeah.
Second time?
I think. So
Ben and Tardio, you guys played them really tough a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Mesa.
They play together.
I did not realize that Zane Navratil lost 10-12 in the third against Ben Johns and Gabe.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's a very close match. Had Ben and Gabe lost that, how many people would be calling for the end of that partnership?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So let's talk about UNCG real quick.
Okay.
You guys get Jack Sock and Eric Roddy.
Yes. Yep. First round of 32.
Round of 32. Sock and Roddy, they can get hot.
They're a very streaky team. When they're playing well, they can beat any of the top teams, yeah.
Yeah, and so they end up taking you guys 3. End up beating you 12-10 in the second.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that match.
Yeah, it was good. I've played Sock quite a few times, MLP included. But yeah, they just got hot. Jack is so tough. There was a moment where he looked extremely dialed, and he was taking over the entire court. And it's like, okay, we just got to weather the storm. We got to weather the storm. And we were able to kind of withstand that, and we were able to pull through. But, I mean, those guys they're scary when they get on. And so I think that's the most important thing, is being able to have that same energy for the duration of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you get to the round of 16.
Yes.
And you take on Matt Wright and Deckel Bar.
My favorite team ever.
Yeah. So Deckel, I feel like Deckel hasn't had the success. Definitely not mixed. And him and Tyson, I think last tournament they did pretty good.
He had a really good year last year.
But last year
he was incredible.
Had an incredible year, and I don't feel
we're still only at the beginning, so it's hard to make judgments.
But I think that with some of these new partnerships, it's created better teams with some of these partnerships, and I don't think Deckel's had so far. He's had the success. So you guys end up losing game 1, 11-9. And then you win game 2, 11-7.
Yep.
And then we have a barn burner in game 3.
Yeah, so I don't think a lot of people saw this match because it wasn't on one of the mainstream courts. It was kind of on the side.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people watching it. It was a chirp fest to begin with.
Who started it?
Matt, 100%. I mean, if anybody knows Matt, they're not surprised. I mean, putting it bluntly, he's a bully. He's a bully on the pickleball court. He's a
bully to men, women. It doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter. He will. Let's see. Yeah, so he's a bully. And so I don't mind. People come at me all the time. You know how competitive I am. I don't care really if people come at me. But Connor, I like the guy a lot, and I probably won't tell this to his face, but he's probably one of the nicest guys in pickleball.
Yeah.
And when people start chirping at those types of players that are just super nice, you got the JW, the Dylan, the CJ Klinger, the Callan Dawson.
You start to feel a little protective.
Exactly.
CJ Klinger, did you say that?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yes, you can't touch CJ.
Yeah,
touch CJ.
that's what Hayden did. I mean, he was chirping at CJ for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how you can ever chirp at CJ.
Anyways, it was really windy that day, and Matt's actually asking the ref, are we going to keep playing outside? Anyways, we continue to play outside. And at the end of the first game, we were crossing the net to go to the other side. And Matt looks at Connor Garnett and he says, "You are the most one-dimensional player I've ever seen." And right when he said that, I could tell that Connor got kind of offended or sad or whatever.
What did Connor do to deserve that?
Exactly. And so that made me start kind of getting a little bit more energetic, and me and him were going back and forth at it. And so it was a very entertaining match. I don't enjoy those matches, but I've always said this before. If people start it, I will almost never back down.
Do you think that motivates Matt, though, that he needs that?
I think he needs it, but also he doesn't. I mean,
does he play better? Because there's guys out there that I think that they almost try to initiate it because they play better. There's the Rileys, there's the Matts.
They do, but I don't think he was playing that great in that match.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably say the same about me, but we were targeting him quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's just so awkward. You get in these matches, and this is what I've said before. He was making fun of me because I missed a ball, like an easy ball. Like he said, "Oh, that's the easiest shot he missed," or something like that. And then, I'm not joking, the next 2 points, he ends up missing essentially the same ball. It's like, okay, you were just making fun of me for missing that, and then you go on to miss the exact same balls, if not worse.
So you had a volley that you kind of reached for.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of balls. I mean,
but I'm just saying you had a volley that you reached for, and you put in the net or something, and he's like, "That's the ugliest shot in pickleball."
Yeah,
that's what he said. And then after the match, there's audio of you guys. If you guys want to go back and watch it, but Matt basically walks by you and he says, "You were chirping the entire time, the whole match, and you lost. So maybe you shouldn't do that," or how'd that work out for you?
No, I mean, we had match points. So literally we were 1 point away from it. I mean, we played bad the first game. We should have won the first game. I don't even care who wins or loses. You know me. I am one of the most competitive people out there. Yeah. Put me in any sport, basketball, football, soccer, not golf. I hate golf. Skateboarding, dirt biking. Anything it is I am competitive.
Is dirt biking a sport?
Of course it is.
Skateboarding?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
It's in X Games. Put me in any of those sports, I'm going to be competitive. But when you start getting personal, when you start targeting certain players, especially when you know they're not going to respond, that draws a line. It's like the amount of times I've lost so many times, but I don't attack these people. I don't make a fool of myself. And it's like at the end of the match, one of my sponsors was there, and he goes up to my sponsor and he says, "I can't believe you sponsor that guy." to my sponsor.
So I think that is probably, I think that's definitely crossing the line.
Yeah.
Like
and he's known for that. He does this all the time. This is not the first time
you're
he's
not
done
calling Onyx and being like,
exactly.
hey, this dude's 50 years old and washed up.
Exactly.
Why are you still sponsoring him? Clearly he's not moving paddles.
Exactly.
He doesn't even move his body. So how is he going to move a paddle? Right? Like you're not saying that to his sponsors. I think that I agree with you. Like, I love the chirping.
Yes.
And I don't have any issue with it on the court. I do think there's people that are kind of untouchable. And I think if you initiate and the person doesn't respond, then you just shut the F up.
Exactly.
Right? And you don't just keep going and going and going. But some people need that, right? They need to fire themselves up.
They do. And that's fine. But
and that's clearly Matt at his age with his creaky knees and his, that he needs that to get himself going at this stage in his life.
I just don't think
the chirping is his Viagra, right? Lucy probably would know, but the chirping is Matt's Viagra at this stage in his life.
My God.
And so he needs that to get up. And so the point is that there's guys out there, like you started chirping back, fine, fair game, right? But Connor Garnett's not going to say anything to anybody.
Exactly.
Right? He's just going to play his game.
Exactly.
And I guess I'm confused by what's one-dimensional about the fact that he doesn't miss a cross-court dink and he's going to tui your ass ATP all day long.
Yeah.
I don't understand what Matt does that's any different.
Did you listen to the audio? So I said there's two things that Matt does well. He calls balls out and then he plays with decal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's like Matt, the game's kind of passed you by a little bit, and I know he's holding on.
Oh, he's going to hold this win over me.
And I know that he's got to play out his contract, and he's making a lot of money. But I do think that, there's just...
I just think the optics are extremely poor. I don't think it's good. Like, it sounds really lame to say, but it's a bully. Like, literally, this is a bully.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he picked on...
And for me, I don't care. Like, I literally don't care. But if you start doing this to players that it matters to, that's where I draw the line.
And look, Connor can defend himself.
Exactly. He's an adult.
He's an adult.
Yeah.
He can defend himself. But again, you went after a guy that's not going to say anything back to you, right? Like, and I know that Matt is an equal opportunity hater. He doesn't matter. He'll go after everybody. I mean, he's gone after... the Alhunis, he'll go after anybody anytime.
It's just not a good look. He's a lawyer, and so
he's really good at arguing.
Exactly.
But where I really struggle, I think where I draw the line with it is going to someone's sponsor, and Travis Rettenmeyer's done that to you as well.
Exactly, and there's a certain type that does it.
And I just don't. I think that when you start, because now you're starting to mess. You want to beat someone on the court, you beat them on the court, you kick the shit out of them, you win the match. Great. You have those bragging rights and you can talk your smack.
Yeah.
But when you start going after a sponsor and messing with somebody's livelihood, that's a problem. Right. And I know that it's a harmless, like, I can't believe you sponsored this guy and he thinks he's being funny. But that's where, like, in my own personal opinion, is you have a problem. Like, if I'm calling Franklin and, saying, hey, Hayden Patriquin's doing this or Hayden, like that's just not cool.
And then the bigger thing to me is after that match, I mean, so many people, they loved the match. I mean, it was entertaining. It was very entertaining.
14-12 in the third, it doesn't get better than that.
Exactly. But I had a couple people who are friends with him and me. They came up to me and they basically said they were embarrassed for him. And they're friends with him. And so that's, to me, is like,
I just feel like you guys are kind of OGs in the sport.
Yeah. I'll still talk to him. I mean, I don't care. It's just his attitude on the court.
That's a guy that he's not taking it personal.
Yeah.
There's some OGs in the sport, and we've talked about this before, right? And Lucy has been on our pod multiple times.
Yeah.
And what's funny is Lucy completely separates herself from Matt, and in these situations,
it's interesting. Like,
she just doesn't defend him, and she doesn't not defend. She just stays out of it, which probably she just lets Matt do his thing.
Yeah.
But there's some OGs, and Lucy's mentioned that, like, you and Ben and Matt and Zane, there's kind of this mutual understanding amongst all of you. And so, I think
I've said this so many times, but I do not like the chirping myself. But if people start it, I will never back down. I just think chirping, people don't understand it unless you actually play pickleball or play tennis and understand what's going on. And I've said this before, but I truly believe that if I wanted to, I could chirp and talk to almost any player, and if I got nasty enough, I could have the win. I could get the win if I wanted to.
Maybe that's what you need. Maybe that's the advantage.
But I don't think that's good. I don't think that's being a good person. I don't think it's worth it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of karma there. So you guys end up losing that.
Yeah,
Matt and Deckel
moving
lose
on.
the next round in the quarters to Pablo and Hayden.
Yes.
And karma is real.
Well,
Matt hurts his ankle.
last thing, he's all like, "Oh, have fun on your flight." He said that to me, like, "Have fun on your flight because you lost." And I didn't think about this then, but I was like, "Okay, you guys are literally going to lose the next round."
And
like,
they did, and he got hurt.
Oh, did he really, or is that just an excuse?
Well, he rolled his ankle, was limping off the court. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So, anyways, so let's go to the quarters real quick. So Christian and Fed end up beating J-Dub and CJ. It's a good win for them.
7 and 8.
Yeah, 7 and 8. Pablo and Hayden beat Matt and Deckel. Gabe and Ben, after you mentioned this, they survive Ryan Fu and Zane Navratil 12-10.
Do you know if they had any match points?
I don't. I'm not sure if they had match points in that. But Tyson and QD had a great match with against Julian and Hunter.
Julian is hilarious. I mean, he actually chirps, but he doesn't really get personal.
Did you hear Zane yell on Diamo? So Zane is on center in this Gabe and Ben match.
Yeah.
And you hear Julian from 3 courts away yell on Diamo. So Gabe misses a ball into the net, and Zane turns and screams, "On Diamo!" right back at Julian.
That's funny.
Yeah, and Rob Cassidy says, "The primal mating call of the brethren," or something like that. It's pretty funny. So, anyways, I went and I was watching this Kwong Tyson match.
Yeah.
And QD, and I think this is where the win comes in. Mm-hmm. He hit like
They're
3 or 4 clean
Yep.
third shot winners.
Yeah.
Clean, untouched. And I think that's kind of where the win comes in. You don't see that very often.
Yeah. I look up 11-4 first game.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, something could happen. And then next 2 games go quick.
Yeah. So, and then, so we get to the quarters. Ben and Gabe have another three gamer. I mean, they were definitely tested in this. And so now semis. And it's Andre and Dylan, Gabe and Ben, and one of the, I mean, it's crazy because it was 11-3, 14-12, 12-10. The problem with it was like when you guys played them, it felt like it was very high level, like an epic match. This felt like the elements were center stage.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there was missed thirds. There was I saw Ben miss back-to-back returns. Nobody could really get anything going. Everybody kind of started playing super conservative because the wind. I mean, the wind was just playing such a major factor in the match. And Gabe and Ben pull it out 12-10. Christian and Fed win. So we get to Championship Sunday. First game, I'm watching it. And it is over it was 10-0. And it was over in minutes. And then second game, I think Gabe and Ben started, I think Christian and Fed, started 4-0. And then Gabe and Ben come back and take the lead like 6-5. And you're like, okay, they're going to roll. But Christian and Fed pull it off. And then they win the next one.
Yeah.
So now they have championship, they have 1 game away. And they end up losing 11-7, 11-4 the next 2.
Yeah.
Gabe Tardio, Ben Johns, Texas Open champs.
Yeah.
First championship together.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. And then even the bronze match was epic. Pablo and Hayden 11-7, 10-12, 11-9 over Dylan Daescu.
I mean, a lot of these games are going that way where they're very close.
Yeah.
I mean, the skill gap or the talent gap is lessening.
And I think that we have more parity in our partnerships than we've had in the past, right? Like, in the past, it was like, okay, these 2 are going to play together nonstop. These 2 and these 2, and that was it, right?
Yep.
Now you've got Fed playing with Christian, Fed playing with Hayden, Hayden with Pablo, Andre played with Ben, Andre plays with Dylan. You know, we had Gabe and Hayden play together. You have you have Tyson and QD playing together. We have so much more parity in our partnerships that it's creating parity in our matches.
It's creating these incredible storylines.
Yeah, and it's awesome. So,
okay, love to see it. Real quick, we got to give a big shout out to our next sponsor, Vulcan.
Vulcan.
We love Vulcan. They are the official sponsor of the PPA Tour and also MLP. The V Pro Flight is the ball that the pros use and also the amateurs at their tournaments. So go check them out, vulcansportinggoods.com. Also, use code KOTC 25.
25.
25.
Yeah. You'll get a little bit of bonus.
A little bit of extra discount. You can still use KOTC, code KOTC, but KOTC 25 on vulcansportinggoods.com gives you the best price possible.
Yeah.
We love Vulcan. They got some really exciting things coming in their pipeline that will be really great to see out in the Open.
Yes. All right. Mixed doubles.
Okay, mixed doubles. 128 draw is wild.
128 is nuts. Imagine being in the 128 too.
So the only thing that I would say is those teams that are in the 128, most likely they're not going to make it through even to the semis or quarters. And so they probably only have 2, 3, maybe 4 matches.
Wow, you're going to do Shelby Bates dirty like that.
Hey, I'm just saying those teams.
Nemeth.
Hey, even if my team was started in the 128, I would say.
It's tough. That's a long day.
Exactly.
Like if someone comes from 128 and makes it.
That's crazy.
That is a long day. In fact, but fun fact, Tyler, there was not a single team that came from the 128 that even won in the 64.
That's, yeah.
So I think that you nailed that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Tanner Tomasi and Lorena Duknik ended up losing, had to play Ben and Annalie in the 64. Aiko Yoshitomi and Kenta Miyoshi had to play Tina and Colin Johns and lost. Jelena Ingram and Rio Newcomb had to play. I mean, this is tough. They had to play Hayden and Anna.
Okay, all right, let's get into the upset. So, biggest upset for mixed doubles?
Yes.
A-Trong and Eric Onsens.
Yeah, so I mean, it's funny because there was a lot of what's the word, kickback or maybe questioning the Ranchers' decision to trade Noe Cliff, no way to Miami for Eric Onsens, and there was a lot of people questioning that because Noe is been outplaying Eric. Let's just be honest. His results have been much, much better than Eric's recently. And he's kind of that hot name in pickleball. He's kind of that up and comer. And a lot of people are questioning that. So Onsens and Alex, first of all, they played Mari Humberg and CJ Klinger. I don't think they were the favorites in that match.
No, for sure no.
And they end up beating them in 3. Then they get Catherine Parento and Christian Alshon. And they end up winning that. And there's that epic picture that Diana, who's, by the way, the Bears social media girl.
She got it?
She's the one that took the picture.
Nice.
Everybody has stolen it and not given her credit for it. So Diana took that picture where Christian's got his hand out. It literally looks like a dating site. Like Eric and Alex. Have you seen the meme where the guy was looking backwards and the girl walked by? That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Anyways,
what was Christian complaining about?
He was complaining about Eric's serve.
Yeah.
He thinks his serve is too high.
Well, didn't Eric get called on it a couple times in that match?
I think he got warned, yes. Okay. But he thought that match point, the serve was too high.
Yeah.
And Eric's serve is questionable.
It is, yeah. It's high.
He has a very heavy serve, and it is definitely questionable. And so
That's
anyways,
an iconic picture.
It's awesome.
It's insane.
Eric's got his arm around Alex. They're smiling and celebrating. And Christian's out front like this. Anyways, it's a great picture. Diana, props to her. So they end up beating Catherine and Christian. And then they're like, we're not done. So then they go and beat Travis and Elise. I don't think there's any paddle challenges there. So no excuses on why they lost.
I heard.
Are we going to hear about it for 2 weeks now on why they lost?
I heard one of the male players was not very happy with Alex screaming during the match and was taunting her afterwards.
Travis?
Yeah.
So Travis was taunting Alex.
Is what I heard.
Well, I'm sure he'll go on a podcast, and the 3 people that watch it will hear about it. So then quarters. Now they get Jesse and Gabe, and it's like this run's got to end at some point, right? Yep. And they beat them 12-10, 8-11, 11-5. I mean, these guys are red hot.
Jesse and Gabe are still living the life on Necker Island.
They are. They're still locked in on Necker. I heard that some of the pros, and I won't say who I heard it from, might have been from you, but they just worked them to the bone on Necker, like 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
That is also
day.
What I heard, yeah.
Like Necker would be awesome if they could actually see the island. But instead, they were like, hey, we're going to send you here for free, but guess what?
Yeah.
No downtime.
Yeah.
And so anyways, so they end up running into J-Dub and Georgia in the semis. and they kind of, ran out of steam there. But big props to A-Train, former California Black Bear.
Once a bear, always a bear.
And Eric Onsens on a deep, deep run at the Texas Open.
Yep.
The other team that I actually thought played really, really well was Leah Jansen and Riley Newman.
Yeah, they had a close one with the Johnsons.
Yeah, lost 14-12 in the third, but I thought that both of them played extremely well. They even had a close one with Rafa and Genie. Mm-hmm. They went 11-7, 13-11, 11-7.
Yep.
But, man, in mixed doubles, you don't see like the length on the court that you see in men's doubles, but Leah is long.
Yeah.
And so you've got Leah and Riley both on the court, and there's a lot of length on that court.
And especially if both players are reaching in,
yes,
taking stuff, and that's what both of those players do.
And the one thing that Leah's really good at is on the right, that reach-in backhand flick from the right is really good.
Yeah.
And obviously Riley can take a lot of court. I mean, we got the infamous video of him pushing Elise off the court. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they had a really good run. I think that's a good team. I'd be interested to see if they kind of continue that partnership.
Man, pickleball's wild. I mean, you have so many crazy matchups and so many crazy scores and crazy scenarios that happen. For example, Connor Garnett and Millie, they played together.
Yeah.
They almost lost their first round.
Yeah.
And then they end up beating Tyson and Lacey, Tyson McGuffin and Lacey Schneeman the next round.
You can call them Tycey together. Well, let's talk about...
It's like, had they lost that first round, most likely Tyson and Lacey would have won that matchup.
Yeah,
but it's
for
crazy.
Sure. I mean, it's like you said. There's matches like that, constantly. So, another match I want to talk about really quick. For the second tournament in a row, Deckel Barr and Rachel Rohrbacher lose in the round of 32.
Yeah, who was that too?
They lost to Rafa and Genie.
Yeah.
So
Genie's a black bear.
Genie was a bear. But she's now a diamond,
yes.
But she was a bear.
Yep.
Rafa is a bear.
Yep.
I mean, everybody was a bear at some point. You play long enough, you're going to be a bear.
Yep.
But that DC partnership has had two rough losses in a row.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is PPA and MLP are significantly different. It's hard to extrapolate one from...
Well, they are and they aren't, because now we're traditional scoring.
True.
And, chances are Rachel and Declan are going to play together.
Yeah.
Because Jackie and Riley have a history of playing together.
I think they'll be fine.
But, that's a couple tough losses in a row.
I think they'll be fine.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Also, Christian dropped Tyra for Catherine, and you pick up a round of 32L. That's a tough look too.
I think he'll be fine.
I'm sure he'll be fine. I think he's the best mixed player in the world right now.
Okay.
I think he's better than Ben.
Okay.
At mixed. So yeah, I'm sure he will be fine.
Okay.
And then it's funny because you talk about like Travis and Elise. They win in the round of 64, 11-9 in the third. And then they could have very easily lost that. And then they end up going in and beating Matt and Lucy, making it all the way to the round of 16. So like you said, sometimes it's just so close and it just messes with the entire bracket,
and
right?
Throw in the wind. I mean, that's the
and the wind,
great
right?
equalizer, as you said. But
yep.
Players and spectators, they should want to see every single athlete, every single player competing at their highest level. And I just think indoors is the most ideal place for these players to do it. You take away almost all of the elements.
Yeah. So we get to the finals. And it's Annalie and Ben, JW and Georgia. This is we're back to kind of the old guard here. And it was 11-4, 11-3, 14-12. They win in 3. I don't felt like J-Dub and Georgia played great. They were actually down pretty big in the third, and they kind of made a little bit of a run there. But, again, they couldn't get it done. So, Annalie and Ben bounce back. After their upset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Men's singles.
And AB and Hayden for the bronze.
Okay. Men's singles.
All right.
Walk us through.
Men's singles. Look.
So I played men's singles.
You played men's singles. You won your first round.
I'm counting that as a win.
By withdrawal?
I'm counting that as a win. I actually wish it was not a withdrawal.
Because you would have beat Scarpa?
Well, I would have just got more reps in.
You would have rolled Scarpa, huh? Be honest.
I don't know about roll, but last time I did beat him. But he's a good player.
You
He's
beat
good
him pretty
singles.
handily?
No, I think it went 3.
And then you ended up getting Christian Alshon.
And then I end up getting the person who won the tournament.
Which is what you said. after you lost to Christian, you said, I bet you Christian goes on to win it. Because you seem to do well at that.
Yeah.
So look, men's singles, we talk about this all the time, but there's all these new names in men's singles, right? Tom Protzek.
Yeah.
He beats Juan Benitez. He beats Michael Lloyd. Makes a little bit of a run there. Zane Ford with his weird, I still don't understand the glasses, but Zane Ford ends up beating Ben Johns.
Okay, let's talk about that match real quick.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
So, I mean, look, I hate watching. I got to be honest. I watched Zane Ford and Alshon play and it was boring. And it's just big serve, try a big passing shot.
Christian Alshon tweeted a year ago, he said, singles in the future will come down to two things: big serves and big returns. And I think we are seeing that, and we have
100%. And it was boring. Like, I mean this like nicely, but what I mean by boring is, first of all, both of them walk to their towel after every shot. Both of them are super deliberate and super slow, and I'm sure they're conserving energy. I get it. Like, obviously, I'm not in shape to be playing any singles. Both of them are just very deliberate in everything that they do, and then they just rip a big serve, rip a return, try to hit a third, and it's either into the net or it's a winner, and then we move on to the next one. And that's all it's become. And that's fine. It's working, right? That's how it's working. The cat and mouse is kind of going away a little bit.
Yeah.
In some aspects of it. Now, there's still people that do it. Ben still plays it really well. Jaume, I think, plays the cat and mouse really well. But it's just a little bit different. And it's the Q, I like to call it the QD effect, because he's kind of brought this into pickleball.
Okay.
At least brought it to the forefront. But then on the flip side, we had an insane cat and mouse game where Fed and Noe played each other. And it was 11-9, 12-10, 13-11 for Fed. Which, by the way, it was 9-9 in the third, and they were playing on SC1. And I'm watching both. And on championship court, they're like, coming up next on championship court, Federico Staksrud and QD. And the match wasn't even over yet. It was still 9-9 in the third.
Yeah.
And they literally were advertising it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is pickleball fixed?
It's rigged.
It is rigged.
Yeah.
I mean, they were right, but still.
Yeah.
So, Hunter continued his run. He ran into John Lucian Goins.
Yeah, he's still doing well. I mean, he had
12-10 in the third.
Yep.
Gabe Joseph gets to the quarters. Christian ends up getting rolled in game one by Zane, and then he kind of figures it out. So we get to the finals, and it's Christian against Fed. And, dude, I mean, Christian was phenomenal.
He's playing really well right now.
Yeah.
He is playing really well.
And so Christian ends up winning back-to-back.
Yeah.
He didn't lay on the ground this time. Just maybe the first time.
Hey.
He ends up beating Fed. Hunter ends up retiring in the bronze match. Loses 11-8, then retires in the second game. So hopefully he's not seriously injured. And he just wanted to go watch Paris, maybe?
Maybe
he's like, look, dog, I'm just going to run over and watch my girlfriend. So, yeah, congrats, Christian. Another win. All right, women's singles. Do you know who won that? Are you shocked by that?
If I had to take a random guess, I would say Annalie.
Annalie Waters picks up the dub. I think that there is a couple things to point out here. I actually felt like Kate didn't play great in the first game, but then she kind of bounced back and played her pretty tough in the second game.
So I did not watch this, but I did see some of the highlights.
Yes.
Lots of yelling.
A ton of yelling. This kind of goes back to the Matt Wright situation where...
But even then, it's not getting personal. They're just screaming to pump themselves up.
Yes, they're screaming to pump themselves up. She's not... But I don't know if... And we'll talk about this in the questions because I got it sent to me a lot about Annalie, like yelling at Hayden and saying, don't talk to me like that. And like Annalie saying certain things. But there's a lot of yelling, yes. And so Kate ends up losing 15-13 in the second. I thought that she played her pretty tough.
She seems to be playing closer the last few matchups.
She does. The other person who she made a final last time, and she played her pretty freaking tough this time was Leia. Maybe Leia is back. 11-8, 11-6. I thought game one, Leia was 100% outplaying Annalie. In that one. And, I mean, Leia had to go. This is one thing that I look at a lot is like, how did they get there? Mm-hmm. And Leia had to play Felicity DeLaura, who is like, the soup du jour for pickleball right now. Mm-hmm. Played at like Texas Tech or something, high-level tennis player. Beats her. She beats Georgia. She beats Brooke Buckner. And then has to play Annalie. Like, that's not an easy road at all. Kate, same thing though, right? Kate had to go through Salome. Mm-hmm. She had to go through Helena Jansen, who's kind of up and comer.
9-9 against Kate Fahey, Helena.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a tough one. Did Paris not play singles?
No, I thought she did.
I don't think she did.
Maybe not.
I think that is. I think that helps a little bit. Mm-hmm. Right? Did you see Lane Sleeth, Martina Frantova?
I did not know, but it looks
13-11, 11-9, 11-9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out the bear.
Yeah.
Lane. Anyways, so yeah, Annalie picks up the big dub. Even when she gets upset in women's or she got upset in mixed last time, singles is that constant for her. So you can always kind of pencil that one in.
Okay. All right. We have a week off, and then the following week is Red Rock. Yeah. They're introducing a new format, which is called semi-progressive. Is that right? Where they start a day earlier, and then they only play the semifinals up to Saturday.
Yeah, so Saturday and Sunday, the weekend, is going to be semis on Saturday, finals on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're doing this I think they're doing this for TV purposes, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Because I believe that they moved Red Rock from April to March because they're able to get like a Fox Sports 1 spot. Mm-hmm. And I think actually a Fox National spot on Sunday.
Yeah.
So they're going to actually adjust the tournament to fit these TV spots, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
The tournament will be interesting, though, because truthfully, like a lot of players are going to be gone by the weekend. Mm-hmm. So if you are going to Red Rock,
get there early.
You want to get there early. You want to be there on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to watch the majority of the matches.
Yeah, but sometimes the finals and semis have really good matchups, too.
Well, I'm just saying they're going to have good matchups, but there won't be any Yola players there either.
Yep.
Well, some of them.
Okay, awesome. Moving on to questions, but first we got to give a big shout out to Holey Performance.
Holey.
The weather is getting warmer. Our bodies are losing electrolytes and nutrients as we sweat and we go throughout the day. Jimmy, tell us about Holey.
Yeah, so obviously Holey, we have
an exclusive flavor with them.
Exclusive flavor. It is white gummy.
Love it.
It is amazing, a little tropical with the scent of I don't even know. It's just deliciousness is what it is.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Holey is it will rehydrate you very quickly. It is zero sugar. It has all of
It's crazy that it's zero sugar. I'm obsessed
with how delicious it is.
Exactly. Yes. Honestly.
I agree. We're you're gonna start getting those warmer months. You start cramping. Remember when we sweat? Just fun fact here that I learned in science class.
Nutritionalist over here.
Yes, when I actually took health in college.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
I think most people have to take health.
Yeah, I think so too. But fun fact is that when we sweat, we don't just sweat out water. We also sweat out nutrients and minerals that our body needs. Mm-hmm. And Holey will help you
replenish
those minerals. Rapid hydration. So check them out. HoleyPerformance.com. Use code KOTC.
They have a variety of products as well. Not only this.
Yeah, they have greens. Yep. They have pregame. They have postgame. They also have new flavors coming out.
Yep.
Every flavor this is the one thing that I can promise you. Every flavor I've tried is delicious.
Okay.
So check them out.
All right. Thank you, Holey, for your support. Go check them out. All right. Getting into questions.
Yeah. So I have a lot.
All right. Go for it.
Let's see. Oh, wait.
All right. This is a good one. When is someone considered a pro player other than the contract players? I get this question a lot.
Yeah, I would say that the pro player means that you're considered a pro player when you start making money.
So these players that signed the new PPA Gold cards, would they be considered pro players?
I would say that you are if you're making money or if you're having sponsors pay you money, yes. I'll consider that.
Okay.
Right? At that point.
When are you going to do another live pod? And if so, where? We might be doing one at Red Rock, which is in St. George, Utah.
Yeah.
2 hours away from Vegas.
Okay, so this is a kind of a long question, but I think it's interesting because it's one that we've discussed a little bit. Jimmy, huge fan of KOTC. You and Tyler do a great job. I'm really fascinated by the business side.
Oh, I think this person wrote into me also.
You did? Based on the last couple of podcasts, it's clear that the PPA is going to peel back significantly on guaranteed contracts, which we've talked about, right? Mm-hmm. It makes total business sense as far as I can tell because I can't see the ROI on paying players who have ceilings of the 64s or 32s when there are 40-plus teams actually paying entry fees that can deliver those same results. Mm-hmm. Simply put, why would PPA pay players when they have similarly skilled players pay them? However, this leaves me wondering, what are your thoughts on the future of the sport as it pertains to lower mid-level pros currently under contract? I don't think there's any disputing the fact that 99% of the unsigned pros will never win prize money, let alone enough prize money to make a viable living playing. I also highly doubt their sponsors that'll pay those mid-level pros. Am I correct in assuming in 6 to 12 months from now, PPA will consist of 15 to 20 elite contracted players and those who are simply wealthy enough to play regularly without relying on results to pay their bills? I would anticipate a lot of mid-level players will go after APP prize money. Keep up the great work. So this is
thoughts. We talked about this.
Yeah, we've talked about this. This is a great question. I think that is the model the PPA is going with. I think that's the model that tennis goes with. I think that's the model that other organizations racing go with as well. And I think what's going to happen is, you're going to need to crack in that top 12, 16, 8.
I would say top 25. If you're top 25, I think you're.
Yes, but I mean in a tournament itself, you're going to have to crack in that top 8, 12-ish, and overall consistently throughout the season, top 25 to make money.
Okay.
And to make money to sustain a pro career. Mm-hmm. And if you are in that 35 to 60 range and you're kind of one of those players who is kind of just hanging around in that range and you don't really ever make the quarters and you kind of lose first round, you're paying to play. Mm-hmm. And that's the barrier of entry. And truth be told, I think that's what the barrier of entry should be. Mm-hmm. Because the reality is if you are not winning ever or not even getting out of the first round, should you make guaranteed money? Because like this person just said, they can have there's all these people that want to become pro players. There's thousands of people that think that the barrier of entry to pro pickleball is not that tough. And it's not. You really just sign up, right? Now being successful is a different story. But if they can collect the prize money, collect the entry fee from 30 teams, right? Why wouldn't PPA collect that entry fee as opposed to paying guaranteed money to 30 teams that are just going to lose in the same round that these other people are willing to pay for? So I agree that that's the way it's going to go. Now, I do think that prize money obviously needs to increase from what it was previously. Yeah. And it sounds like it is. And so the amount of money, so for example, if the total payout to PPA pros is $10 million this year, okay, that's just a figure I'm pulling out of the air, then that's what the prize money pool is probably going to be around. Maybe it's 8 to 10 million, maybe it's 7, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be distributed based off of results as opposed to guaranteed money. Yeah. And so I think that the prize pool will still stay similar, but
how it's dispersed
is you're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
And I think that players should want that.
Yes, but this goes back to the beginning is because there's some teams that, for example, Annalie, she partners with the very best.
Yeah. Dude, partnerships are going to be massive. Yeah. Partnerships are going to be coveted and they're going to be absolutely huge. I don't think we're going to see I think we're going to see more consistency among partners if they do this.
I've thought that for a while, but we still see a lot of partnerships hopping around.
We do, but that's guaranteed money.
Yes and no. Right now players are playing for their next contract. There's still contracts to be played for.
For sure. But if you're, if you have a chance to, lock up Ben like Gabe does, I don't think we're going to see Gabe playing with J-Dub and Hayden.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit different, I think.
When there's $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 on the line. If Hayden and Fed are having, the success, I don't think we're going to see Hayden playing one-offs with Pablo.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe they will. Money's not everything to everybody, right? So
not only that, but line calls are going to be massive.
Line calls, they've got to fix it. I mean, look, we were told that they were going to have this technology done by February, this close call replay. And then I was actually told by somebody that, it's there. This is it. This is our new replay system.
Yeah.
It's not even close to close call replay. I'm sorry. Is it better than what they had? Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a replay yesterday, and they couldn't even stop the frame when the ball actually hit the ground, when the ball made contact with the line, and they couldn't find that frame. It was Leia and Lucy.
I don't want to keep going back to this match, but in me and Connor's match against Deckel and Matt, the very first point of the entire match, which most people in the beginning of matches or the beginning of games, they're normally pretty lenient with calls just because they don't want to set the tone.
Yeah.
There was a ball that was hit very close to the line. It could have been out. It could have been in. And Deckel was like, he didn't make a call. And then Matt comes over and says, that ball was out. And it's like, okay, I think most people, given that situation, would have called that ball in since it was the first point. But once you start getting this crazy prize money, you better be ready.
Yeah, I mean, especially when that difference becomes, right now it's like we have these people withdrawing from bronze matches, right? Because it's just points. But if that's
it's both.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if the difference between third and fourth is $10,000, we're not going to see the withdrawals, right? At least I don't think we will. Yeah. So
unless something is truly wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody else or the same person said, should local tournaments always have medal rounds on top of the typical round robin? I think it just depends on what what you're expecting. If they say they're going to do that, obviously they need to do that. But I don't know if it's. I mean, I think most people like to have a playoff.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it more fun. What the thing with the medal rounds is also it's like it still gives you a chance.
Yeah.
Right. It gives like, I won the round. Like how often do you see?
It's like the most bang for your buck.
Yeah,
you get a lot of matches, and then you also get a playoff.
Yeah, and how often do you see the person that won the round robin doesn't actually win the whole thing?
Yeah.
So Tyler, I am not great with language arts and English.
Okay.
Especially not punctuation. But we had someone write in. So Ben Pope made a post, and Annalie responded and said, "Way to fight, Ben." Mm-hmm. And then she said, "Let's get it on Sunday." But no, like not let's get it, comma, on Sunday. She said, let's get it on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Is it just because she's 18 now? We're good with that?
What are you inferring from that?
It seems like she's propositioning Ben. You think Jackie's okay with that?
We'll have to ask.
Well, Jackie Nunnery?
This pause is going to make a lot of people mad. All right, somebody said, I don't think tennis players are the best pickleball players. I do get why people think that. What is your take? We actually discussed this in depth in the beginning. It's not always the case.
No, they don't. There's different. They're not everything from tennis translates perfectly to pickleball, right?
All right, this is a good question. They said, what are different paths you're seeing players take to become full-time players?
Paths.
OnlyFans. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I think that what happens is
it all comes down to money. If you're able to travel around and
it's money and it's training.
Talent, yeah.
The one path that we're seeing a lot of players is they're all moving. A lot of players moving to Boca. Mm-hmm. A lot of players.
There's kind of hubs.
Yeah, there's hubs exactly. There's a hub in Austin, right? Mm-hmm. There's a hub in Boca. There's a hub in Utah.
Yeah. If you have good players around you that are competing, it really helps elevate your game.
Yeah. You know what's weird? Where there's not as many, there's high-level players there, but it's not as many as you would think, is Southern California.
Yes, fully agree.
Like you would expect,
Their tennis scene is crazy, but yeah.
But like, I mean, the Broshers are there, and DJ Young's there, and Genie Arakina, but there's not like,
Yep.
And there's a lot of really good players. I'm not saying there's not. It's just different.
Okay. Somebody said, is there any current player on the men's side that could win a title with Colin like Ben Johns has?
Yeah.
Who?
Christian Alshon.
Okay. I like it.
I think that's it.
I like
there's
it.
one. I think he could.
I like it.
Now, I think it would take a lot. But yeah. I also think that maybe the other guy that I think possibly, if Colin played that same role, but I don't think he's quite as aggressive, is Daskew.
I think that would be tough.
Yeah, but I think Christian's the guy.
Okay, somebody said we kind of already talked about this. Why is Matt W. So annoying?
It's just who he is. Like, it's just
he's close to 50. He's done this his entire life. He's not going to change. Most people, once they get past, honestly, even 20 years old, they're not going to change their way of living, who they are.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Somebody said, oh, we already answered that one. All right. Can you please walk through some of your drill sessions? What specific drills do you do? We need to get Piri on for this, but
the blood drills.
The blood drills, yeah. How many does he have? Like 32 or whatever. I've been doing a lot up at the net, speeding up. I'm a lot more aggressive, even though it might not look like it, but with my two-hand backhand and then also my inside out. So I'm just doing a lot of repetitions with those drills.
Yeah.
Different variety of those drills. Why did Georgia Johnson not play women's doubles in Texas? Did she? I thought she...
Wait. Yes, she did.
Oh, this
Didn't
person
she?
is wrong.
Didn't she?
I don't know. I thought so.
I thought we talked. Wait. Hang on. Now they have me perplexed. Is that a good word?
Confused would suffice.
Perplexed, confused. No, she didn't.
That's a great question. That's a great question.
She did play singles, so maybe she
And mixed doubles.
Yeah, so maybe she just chose that. Maybe she didn't have a partner.
This is a good question as well. What player stats would you like to see collected? What do you think are the most valuable stats for players?
So here's the thing that I think about, right? Because like thirds, like people are like, oh, missing thirds. You're at the point as a pro player where it's like it's not about missing a third. It's about where is your third, right? Because I could make every single drop I've ever hit, but are they good drops, right? Are they attackable? I mean, there's players that still hit drops that are 42 feet high, but they don't miss a drop. And so if you go look at the stats of it, it's like, yeah, they didn't miss a drop that match. Well, you didn't, but so I think I would love to see like your thirds, maybe like the placement, are they attackable? The other thing would be like dinks. Like, the dinks that you hit, are they attackable dinks? Do they end up leading to, speed ups by the other team? Or did the other team attempt to speed up off of your dink and it ends up going into the net?
Yeah.
Or ends up going out?
Those are all valuable.
But I think I think we do have like AI out there, like PB Vision is out there, that Wingfield. There's things out there, and I don't know if they're quite there yet, or maybe they are, but I think that stuff would be cool.
Any idea if the PPA is coming to Toronto, Canada in September? So I think initially they had said that they were, but to be honest, the PPA schedule is always up in the air. It's always in flux. And so I have not heard any more information regarding that.
You think it's tariffs? Is that why it's going to be too expensive?
I don't know. How do you see referees now, and what needs to change with refereeing?
I love referees.
You love Onisha.
Onisha's my favorite, honestly. Onisha. It says they're coming September 24th to 28th.
Okay. I think referees have upped their game significantly the past 1 to 2 years. I still think there's a lot of smaller things that they could improve on. Calling lines, oftentimes if you ask about a line call, they'll just side with the player. They'll say, oh, I'm not watching that, and I get it. They're not supposed – well, they are supposed to be watching it, but their number one priority is watching kitchen violations. But there's a lot of times where the player's feet aren't even close, and it's like they should be tracking the ball a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, I can see. I think there's a lot for them to watch. There's a lot going on. And I think as the athletes and players get bigger, faster, stronger, it's going to be more difficult. And I think that's why we have technology is a good thing. I think we should embrace technology. Doesn't mean that we need to replace referees because they're very, very, very much needed. But I think we need technology to enhance their abilities.
Is a two-handed backhand essential for a women's game?
I feel like it's getting there. Yeah, I even in men's right now, right? Who still hits one-handed backhand in men's?
In men's,
Rettenmeyer does sometimes.
Jay DeVilliers used to have a one-hand backhand, right?
Yeah. So there's not many out there.
Okay. Can you call a hindrance because of a yell from another court? You could, but it should not be upheld.
I feel like if Christian can call in for bubbles.
Well, those were actually going on the court.
I know.
And it actually makes it slippery.
Was it Gabby? Was Gabby playing with bubbles?
She was there.
Should we blame her?
Yeah. All right, we'll try to knock a few more of these out. Which players ranked below number 10 have the best chance to break top 5 in the near future?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's let me look at the players below number 10.
Top 5 is impressive. Top 10 is a lot more doable, but top 5 is
all right. So men's doubles.
Okay.
I'm just gonna name the players 10 through 20. Okay.
Okay.
Deckel, Pablo, Tyson, Matt. None of those 4. Jaume, Riley, CJ.
Okay.
Ignatowicz, Augie, Kwong, Connor Garnett, Tyler Loong.
Okay. Thank you for going 21.
I think CJ has a chance.
Okay.
I think QD has a chance.
Okay.
I think that there is. I think honestly, Augie.
Does
QD,
Jaume not have a chance?
Top 5? No.
Really?
He's 31.
Matt's 48, 47.
And he doesn't have a chance either.
Yeah, but there's 15 years between that.
That's true. But okay.
Augie is 30,
Okay.
31.
So this is who he has to jump. Ben, Fed. Well, actually, I'll just go from 5 down.
Yeah.
Hayden, Dylan, Deescu, Tardio, Alshon.
If Jaume could lock in and play at his peak every single time, he would be a top 5 player.
I think he has top 5 skills, yes.
Yes.
But you got to quit telling girls they have ugly shoes. All right.
I talked to her about it.
You did?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
I told her I'm going to bring it up on the pod. She's so nice.
Did she watch the pod?
I think some people have
was
sent
she
it to her.
I don't even know who these guys are.
I took a picture of her shoes, and she said she changed them from the previous week.
Oh, she did?
I said, are these the shoes that got called ugly?
All right. Let's look at women's real quick. Did they just say men's? But we're going to do women's anyways because we're equal opportunity. All right. So top 5 women: Annalie, Catherine, Rachel, Anna, and Tyra. Okay.
Go below 10.
And now we'll go below 10. Yeah. Okay. So we have Callie, Leah, Megan Dazan, Etta, Jackie, Lucy, Glosman, Jade. I think a lot of these women could.
They could, but I don't see it really.
I could see Etta getting up there when she's on her peak. Jackie and Jade, I actually think would easily be top 10 players.
Top 10, yeah, but we're saying top 5.
I agree, but they don't play enough.
Okay.
Paris is 9. I think we could see Paris. Georgia is 6. Obviously, Georgia could bust into the top 5. Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. Is Ben yelling at Kate cringe or deserved?
I mean, it's deserved. Kate screams. So Ben screamed back. I mean, it is what it is. Kate's screaming every single point. You can't scream every single point and not expect to get some sort of blowback. Ben did it to someone else too. Was it
Zane
Ford? Yeah. I mean, look, you can't scream like that and not expect some blowback. It is what it is. I don't think it's cringe at all. I think that it's Ben's weird humor in a way, and his way of kind of like, not just going to sit there and take it. He was probably fed up. I honestly don't see any problem with it at all.
Okay, we'll do 2 more questions. We had a lot of questions come in this time. Somebody said, I want Jimmy to apologize to Anna Bright. Tyler can play mixed doubles with her, and then she can also come on the pod. Neither of those are happening. So
Anna, I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but I apologize.
She's still never coming on the pod.
AB, I apologize. Oh, I won't even get to see her in Red Rock. She won't be there.
The last tournament me and her played together, we got 3rd place.
Yeah, she got 3rd place with Hayden, so she is not improved.
Okay.
Remember when you and Hayden used to be boys and like you went to Chick-fil-A on his birthday?
Dude, I talked with him this last tournament.
And you guys hang out and you guys were friends though.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he got really good at pickleball.
Yeah, he left me in the
And
in
he's
the dark.
like too cool for you. Now he's like, oh, I'm going to hang out with Anna and
He
Gabe.
chirps at me now.
And I'm like, what happened?
The thing with him is he is so cool off the court.
Love Hayden.
Love him.
My guy.
We were talking about stocks, investing, everything like that. And then on the court, I don't like the chirping.
I love Hayden.
Okay. I'm not going to say who, but this person inputs somebody's name. They say, who is the worst player to win gold in the last 2 years, and why is it so-and-so?
Colin Johns?
No.
The worst player to win gold.
Yeah. I don't know if I like the term worst. They said that guy.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, let's say this. Who is the most surprising person to win gold in the last 2 years?
Okay.
And I would say the most surprising person would be Brendan Long.
Okay.
When him and Tyson won it at Red
Rock. Yeah.
Now, it was a little bit of a depleted field at the time. But this is similar to when Hayden and Georgia won Daytona, and this is why Hayden got mad at you. Because you said that it doesn't count the same.
He got mad at me for that?
No, I'm just saying that you said it didn't count the same.
I don't think it should.
I think a win is a win. And so I give Brendan Long all the credit in the world. Now, he's obviously disappeared since then. Hasn't done much.
Okay.
He did okay on the is he on the pen? No, he's on the slice.
But they dropped all their players, right?
Yeah, well, he's not signed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's probably the most surprising person to win gold.
Okay.
But other than that, I think everybody...
I'm sure there's one or two other players that would appear out there.
Not gold. Not gold, though.
I almost won gold. That would have been surprising. Maybe.
When you and Connor in Minnesota?
Yeah. Thomas Wilson has won gold. Who else? I mean,
yeah, that's
I'm not saying it's bad, but like, who are even?
But I don't think it's that surprise. I think it's like, wow, they made it. But Brendan Long was a shock.
Yes,
he didn't even have a graphic. He made his own graphic. So I would say that's probably the bigger shock. So
okay. Anything else, Jimmy? This was a little bit longer one. Texas Open was great. Love the venue. Hopefully the weather can chill out. Whenever we go to Texas, it seems like we have tornadoes, hurricanes, rainstorms, everything like that.
Yeah. Big Texas Open fan.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I'm pumped for Red Rock. We'll do Red
Let
Rock.
us know what we should do in Red Rock. Like what type of content, if it's talking to players, if it's talking to amateurs, if it's playing pickleball.
Have you been at what's the best place to eat in St. George?
Dude, they don't have that much, to be honest.
I think people talk up all these places, and every time I've been to that Wood, Ash, and Rye. And
guys,
very mid.
When everyone talks about St. George, they always talk about Zion.
Zion, yes.
Zion. It's Zion. Zion.
I've been to Anasazi Steakhouse, very mid.
Okay.
Yeah, Mexican places are all mid.
Cafe Rio, great.
Maybe Audrey can cook for us. Authentic Mexican.
Okay. All right. If you've made it this far, please do us a big favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. It helps
us. Are you Irish?
Yeah. Don't I sound like it?
Well, you could have Irish. You have a white mom, dog. You could have Irish in your blood.
Don't profile her.
Does your mom have any Irish in her?
I actually think she might.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not Irish at all.
Thank you to all of our sponsors. Our sponsors make the show possible. Without it, we would not be here. And also Jilly B.
I'm not doing this shit for free. Just kidding.
How much do you make, Jimmy?
I make enough in gas money to drive to your house once a week.
All right. We will see you guys later. Thanks, guys.